everyone. A very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Amit Singh from Tech Plus Media and your host for today. It's my sheer pleasure to welcome all of you to this very interesting webinar on delivering trusted data at a scale across hybrid multi-cloud environments. So this interesting topic itself tell that this is going to be a very perfect mix of knowledge and insights for in fact for having an in-depth discussion on this very interesting topic. We have with us Mr. Pradeep Iyer, who is the offering leader data and AI from IBM India, South Asia. We also have Mr. Ajith Nayak, who is the brand technical specialist data and AI from IBM India, South Asia. As well as we have Mr. Gaurav Shukla, who is the senior solution architect data and AI from IBM India and South Asia. But before we start the event, I would like to take this opportunity to announce that to make the webinar more interesting and interactive, we have got a few polls to be run based on the discussions, and most importantly, we also have an audience Q&A round at the end of the session to clear all your doubts and queries that you may have. So we will, of course, enable the chat box for the audience to raise their questions. So just one request, be very attentive and participative in the polls, and please note down all your queries to raise questions during the Q&A round. So with this, I would like to invite Mr. Pradeep Iyer to take this webinar forward.
Good afternoon to all of you, and it's a delight for us. We've been doing a series of this tech talks, and it's an opportunity for us to share some of our experience working with several clients in the region. And today's topic is a very, very special topic, knowing that the kind of adoption that we have of hyperscalers in all enterprises, there is a dimension of how we are viewing data. And we're going to talk about the perspective of how our data is being consumed today. And the choices for enterprises has been driven by what a particular hyperscaler offers as capability, right? And most customers want to have the flexibility to not have a specific lock-in with a hyperscaler, and at the same time be very agile in the way they consume data. They want to have the flexibility to move the data in a governed manner, which are very much linked to the regulations that a particular industry is focused on. And that is something which we have understood with various of our interactions with our enterprise customers. And over the next few minutes, we're going to probably share these perspectives with all of you, and I'm sure we will all learn together. And we're happy to have that understanding of how organizations are moving towards a multi-cloud environment today, and why is it required. For sure, we know of how applications are currently running in a hybrid mode, right? Wherein some downstream applications we have it on-premise, whereas some of the applications which are born in the cloud continue to remain in the cloud. And to have the best integration amongst this is an experience of its kind. And what we will focus is some of the capabilities which are quintessential in such kind of a multi-cloud environment. And that is something which two of our very experienced professionals, Gaurav and Ajith, will share over the next few minutes with a combination of the subject on the presentation, as well as the actual solution through a demonstration of the capabilities that we offer to our clients. So with that, I will request Gaurav to start the entire subject that we're covering for this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks, Pradeep, and good afternoon, everyone. It's extremely good afternoon, and we are actually very delighted to have you attending this session. So today, as Pradeep has given the context, we'll talk about some of the challenges which comes up with typically with any enterprise who are running into a multi-cloud kind of a setup. Then we will give you our own IBM's perspective around doing data governance, data integration, what's the best practices, and what's all different tools and technologies that we have available in that space. So we'll talk about all those aspects. Today, the topic is to deliver trusted data at scale across your hybrid multi-cloud kind of environments. And so this is going to be the high level agenda for the call today. We'll discuss about the typical enterprises who are running into multi-cloud kind of data landscape, what are the different challenges that they face and how to address them. And then we'll also understand some of the key capabilities of our offerings around data governance and data integration, and what's our own point of view around creating a proper solid, in fact, a foundation around your data catalog and governance protection, everything covered. And then towards the end, we'll also see some of the customer testimonies. So with this, I think I'll start. Um, so as you know, a lot of data is generated across organization, but only very handful of them, in fact, almost maybe over one fourth of that data is actually getting used. That means majority of the data is still not getting used. So there is a huge potential in actually utilizing those data assets. Now, some of the challenges that we have seen across big enterprises, not just in India, but in worldwide, that they have gone ahead with having, a lot of best of the breed solutions for specific requirements, and then going into multi-cloud kind of a setup. So what essentially happens is you have so many of data silos sitting across a single enterprise. And then data is growing and at a very ever increasing rate, and then there are a lot of different variety velocity of data which is coming up. So that is actually increasing the way your data is needs to be. I mean, it is creating complexity around consuming those data points. And then there is a ask about, not just batch kind of ingestion. There is a need for near real time or near real time kind of data access, while ensuring your resiliency of your mission critical data. And then there are new applications which are coming up, which are more trying to do a self-service kind of analysis around those data points. So these are some of the typical challenges that we have seen across different customers. So as you can see, exponential growth in the data, and there are a lot of different data silos because of using best of the pre-project or tool for a particular requirement. Okay. So now over the years, people have been working on ways to adopt to those. Make use of the data which is available. We started with data silos, then the concept of data warehouse came up somewhere around 1990, and then around 2000, people came up with the concept of data virtualization. Then around 2010, then people started talking about data lake kind of structure, and then now people are moving towards a data fabric kind of a concept or a architecture. So data fabric actually is a framework or an architecture which will help you to reduce the number of data copies that you necessarily have to maintain by using the virtually connecting to those data source as and when required, and simplifying the data access pattern. And then at the same time, it also gives you the capability to do a governance around those data. So it is all about who can access what kind of data, and maintaining those uniform policy enforcements for your increased data production and quality, and then doing data standardization, data profiling, data classifications, all of this in a fully automated way. Okay. And then obviously enriching those data points to get a conceptual understanding of the data with proper semantics in place. So that's the the idea behind data fabric. And data fabric is an industry concept. It's not coming from IBM. IBM can also deliver the data fabric capabilities using our cloud pack for data product. And essentially what it means is, irrespective of the data which is there on the right hand side, as you can see, so many different siloed applications. I should be able to access the entire data which is available across the organization in a governed way. Okay, so when I say governance, that means it's proper data production in place, data governance around it. So I can track the data lineage. I can protect which data asset is visible to which kind of users. But the idea here is to be the ability to access all the data across any cloud, and in fact anywhere, and do it in a self-service manner and towards a so if you look at on the right hand side, we have the data consumers. They should be able to access those data points in a self-service manner. So that's where the concept or the of a platform coming up, which gives you that kind of capability, it becomes even more important. So your data access is almost 8 times faster without actually having had to dismantle everything or do a IBM specific or IBM tool kind of implementation. It can coexist with your ecosystem of tools that you have, but using the platform capability, which is called as Cloud Pack for Data. So essentially, if you look at this data fabric concept, it is all about doing a smart integration, augmenting those knowledge and enabling those data points or the data assets for us in a self-service kind of manner to the data consumers, while enforcing a layer of policies for your security and compliance. So that's the capability or the components which are required for data fabric, and we have solution for each of those specific asks. Um, in fact, the offering that I talked about, this is our data and AI platform offering, single offering, which you can use to connect to any kind of data source, whether it is structured, unstructured, semi-structured, with and then do all run your data ETL jobs, do a data profiling, data classification, build your own data catalog, and then enable the end users for self-service kind of access. And then we have this analyze layer where we have BI tools like Cognos or in fact Watson Studio, Watson Machine Learning. So even if you have to run those data science kind of use cases, for which we have lots and lots of services available, but all of this is available in a single modular platform. When I say modular, you can pick and choose which all services you want. You don't necessarily have to go for all the services which are available within the platform. And this is a single platform, and it's scalable. Essentially, the idea here is whenever you pick any services, you should be able to scale the service as and when required, and at the same time keep on adding more services as and when your requirement increases. So you start small and then you keep on growing. And all of this is actually certified on Red Hat OpenShift, which is the Kubernetes orchestration layer. And it is built on a cloud native containerized and then microservices based architecture. So very easily you can take the entire solution from on-prem to a cloud, to one cloud, to even a private cloud kind of a setup. And now the beauty of this platform is the whatever is the required OS and the Red Hat OpenShift layer, they are actually bundled and bundled as part of the platform licenses. You don't necessarily have to procure those licenses. So today we'll focus more towards the organized layer, which is all about your data cleansing, data governance, data doing ETLs, or data creating those data catalogs, self-services, a kind of discovery and such. So we'll talk about it, but the platform itself has got lots and lots of other services available within it. Okay, so it's a single platform which will be accessed by different personas, be it a data engineer, be it is a data steward, be it a data scientist. All those personas will be accessing the single platform. Now, with respect to integration, we have a best of the breed product, which is Data Stage, which is our premium offering. As you may probably be aware that it's one of the market leading products for your data integration. It got lots of capabilities, including the capability to do multi-cloud flexibility. You design your job one, and then you can deploy and run anywhere. And the jobs can be scaled at runtime. You don't necessarily have to design a job to be scalable. Okay, lots of ML infused design also came in, especially with the next version of Data Stage, which is part of the platform itself. Lots and lots of capabilities around data cleansing, standardization, and in fact doing even real-time data ingestion. Similarly, around data governance, we have our offering, which is called as What's in Knowledge Catalog, which is basically a enterprise level data cataloging option, which will help you to track your data lineage, to run those data quality jobs, define your data production policies and rules, do a data discovery in a natural language way, then do your policy management, build your own business glossary, and all of this in a self-service manner. Okay, so it gives you the base platform for all your data catalog requirements. So now, with our experience with working with lots and lots of customers, not just in India but across at a worldwide level, our own point of view is that whenever you are going with for data governance or creating a data catalog, there are three different steps required. First is the basic layer, which is where you create your own catalog. Basically, you lay down the foundation for your catalog. Then the next step is you actually importing the metadata into this catalog from your different respective source system. And then third one is delivering of those business data for to the different consumers in a self-service manner. So these are critical building blocks of any data governance solution. So let's start with the first part, which is the catalog foundation. So here we try to build a solid foundation to support your enterprise data catalog. And so basically you end up defining the glossary, the policy, the rules, defining data classes, defining your reference data. So it's all about creating that solid foundations. For example, you can create your own terms, your own business terms based on your specific domain, which you can create. Platform also gives you a lot of terms for different industries out of the box, but you can always enhance that and create your own terms. Similarly, you can define policies like the name cannot contain 3 repeat characters, right? How my data should be conforming to those policies. So all those policies you can define using your What's a Knowledge catalog. Similarly, you can define your data protection rules. So you can say that, okay, I don't want this data to be available to everyone. So in case it is, let's say, if it is a sensitive personal information, it should be obfuscated, or you can do a substitute for it. That means replacing the original value by a different random values, or do a redact, which basically means replacing the original values with XXX. So you can create all those kinds of data protection rules. Then you can use a lot of inbuilt data classes which are available within the platform to define your data class. For example, whether it's a MasterCard, whether it's a American Express card, whether it's a Visa card. So you can, there are a lot of classes which are inbuilt into the platform that you can use, or you can even define your own classes for that. Similarly, you can say that my reference data, let's say for currency, it should be only Indian currency. Okay, so you can create those reference data points also within the catalog. So once you are done with this step, you have created a solid foundation of your catalog. Then similarly, you can define your information as confidential or personally identifiable information or sensitive personal information. You can do that classification of the data also. So once you have done, you are ready to you have laid down your catalog, and now it's done. Now it's time to import the different data source metadata into this catalog. So for that, you need the connectivity to those different remote data sources, doing those data quality rules, running those standardization rules, doing profiling, and doing the analysis of your data. So as you can see, lots and lots of options for different data sources out of the box within the platform, but you can even use options like generic JDBC drivers in case there are certain sources which you want to connect this platform to, but they don't really give you a JDBC drive for to connect to those systems. So you can use generic JDBC options, but a lot of options are available out of the box within the platform. Once you have connected to that data source, automatically there is a data scan or quick scan happens for that particular data source. So it does a profiling of the data. I mean, it takes a sample of the data, does a profiling. It does its own data quality rules. So you can pick and choose, which all jobs should run as part of this quick scan job. Or in fact, the first time when you add a data asset into the catalog, there is an automated discovery job which is already initiated on your behalf. But you can pick and choose which all things you want to do. Let's say you can choose, say that I want to analyze columns, I want to do a quick data quality analysis. Okay, so all those rules you can define and then get a quality score for your data. So once this is done, you will get a dashboard like this, wherein the business terms will be automatically assigned to those particular columns. Its data profiling will be done. Lots of class data classification would have been done in for you, but you can always update in case you're not happy or you don't feel that is the correct mapping. You can always go ahead and update those results. Similarly, you can track the data lineage, where exactly your data is coming from, which all transformation it has gone through. So all those understanding also you can get from the same platform. So once this is done, the third step is the to enable the end users to consume all those business ready data in a self-service manner. Okay. So once you have created a catalog, you can publish your data assets to this catalog. So there is a workflow involved. Not everybody can go ahead and publish their catalog. So you have to put a request to a data steward. He's going to review and then finally approve it. Once he approves it, only then it goes into the catalog. So when I say catalog is just like your private community where anybody can go and search for a particular set of data assets. Okay. Then you can obviously, when you are doing the search, you can always do a extrapolation. You can get a understanding of how exactly this data assets relate to another data assets, the mapping between the different assets. So that kind of analysis you can also do using the WKC capability. As you can see, once you're doing the data preview and analysis, even at whatever rules or data protection rules you would have defined, all those things will still be in place. So let's say if you say my phone number or mobile number or my email is a sensitive personal information and that should be masked. So that will be masked even when you're viewing from the catalog. Similarly, like in case of any e-commerce website, you go ahead and do a purchasing for a particular product, you liked it, you can go ahead and put a review and a rating, maybe some comments or rating for to those products. Exactly the same way, in this What's in Knowledge catalog, you can go ahead and put in your own reviews for whether you liked it, you didn't like it. You can provide your star rating as well, so that the next user or the consumer who is accessing that particular data assets can get a understanding of how exactly that data assets looks like, how much trust it can generate, right? So it's basically, at the end of the day, it's about trusting the data that you're consuming. Unless you trust it, you'll not be able to make sense out of it eventually. Okay, so the idea here is, how do I enable trust around those two data points? So this is going to be some of the quick summary. So basically, I talked about two services which are available for you, for example, for your data integration, for your data quality, data governance, and data consumption purposes. WKC, What's in Knowledge Catalog, and Data Stage. WKC can help you to accelerate, basically automate doing your data ops kind of practice if you have one, and it's available as part of the single platform, which is again based on which is containerized, based on microservices kind of architecture, and it is ready to run on any cloud, including your private cloud, public cloud, on-prem kind of setup. And because it's part of the same platform, different personas like data citizen, information analyst, data steward, quality analyst, in fact, data engineer, and all those personas will be accessing the same platform. So it gives you the agility of the platform to work with. Okay, so some of the few customer testimonies. One of the European financial institute, for example, have leveraged our solution to transition from creating those replicated local data lakes copied from each country to actually they have created a governed data mesh with proper security and access mechanism. So that has helped them to simplify all their data governance aspects. And then similarly, one of the US telecom firm, they have used our platform, and the use case was pretty complex. But I mean, we are showing you a very simplified view of the solution. But the idea here was to create a unified data fabric, which is governed by defining those policies, defining your policy aware secure data access bus, secure data bus, and doing everything in a manner so that it can be consumed by different data consumers in a self-service manner. Okay, so that's the idea behind it. Ajit, do we have? Okay, by the way, you can always go ahead and try all these offerings that I'm talking about by for free. In fact, it is available free of cost. Whether it's the Watson Knowledge Catalog, whether it's the entire platform, Cloud Pack for Data, or whether you just want to try the data stage product. So all of those can be individually tried for free. You can scan the QR code, and probably that would be available for you. The links would be available for you. So with this, I think I'll stop, and I'll request Ajit to actually do a demo. So whatever we have talked about, we'll actually do a quick demo. Not just the things that we have talked about, we'll also talk about certain features like data virtualization, very interesting topic. So we'll do a quick demo of those capabilities.
I will first give a brief introduction to the sample data what is available. Basically, there is a use case which I am trying to show as part of the demo. There is a data which is available from a fictitious e-retailer company who are having online sales. And you can see at the bottom, there is a graph which is showing about the sales for various different products. The data is available from 2016 first quarter to first quarter of 2022, close to 6 or 7 years. And it has been observed that particularly during the peak of the pandemic, 2019 Q4 and 2020 Q1, you see this particular time frame, there is a increase in sales for certain specific items like which are mostly used at home like smart electronics, TV and video game watching. And because of this, we see that the company's revenue has exceeded the target. The target revenue was 380 and actual revenue is 389. So it's under 2.5% revenue attainment. But lately it has been observed that customer satisfaction is going down, and customer satisfaction, the actual numbers are actually not met, which is not good. And you can see there is also a delay in the data which is being, or rather the items which are being shipped from the company to the end user. You can see the average shipping time is also increasing. Delayed delivery items are also increasing, but there is no back order in the sense that there is no pending orders which are holding back. So clearly this is a problematic area. One of the problematic area is the customer satisfaction is not happening. There is a delay in delivery. So this is a data which is, or rather the demo, with the data which I will be using part of the demo is centered around this particular e-retailer organization. And this e-retailer had developed, their data scientists had developed a machine learning model algorithm which predicted what could be the reasons for employee attrition and customer satisfaction. Particularly for employee attrition, before pandemic, the company had, I'm just giving you some background before I start the demo. Before pandemic, one of the key reasons which the employees used to leave the company was the commute time, because employees had to travel a lot to reach the company premises and do the activity. So that was one of the key reasons. But due to pandemic, there is a paradigm shift in the work culture. Majority of the people are working from home. Only those people who are required at the production facility are there. So the machine learning model algorithm is also probably not valid. So the organization needs to validate that machine learning model as well. So now I will quickly jump into the demo and I will start showing you the Cloud Pack for Data. See, this is that Cloud Pack for Data platform interface. Irrespective of different personas, this is a single common browser-based interface. Yeah, we probably will see different palettes or windows depending upon which user persona is logged in. And if there are any approvals or workflow kind of a thing required, automatically it will pop up in the home screen here, so that the user can take necessary actions, whether it's approving or reverting back with certain comments and things like that. And before I go into the demo, I would just like to show you the broad breadth and depth of what this CP4D or Cloud Pak for Data platform offers. You can see here in the services catalog, you can see on the left hand side, there is a list of services based on different classes. There could be classes services which could be related to artificial intelligence or machine learning. There could be databases. It could be IBM databases like IBM DB2, Informix, and things like that, or even non-IBM databases like Elasticsearch, Postgres, MongoDB. All these are available as services, and there is no separate installation required. Simply click and say provision. And there are different services available for analytics, for integration, and also for multiple storage options. As part of this demo setup, we are having services which are instantiated and available primarily from a data integration perspective. So data stage is one, data storage where we are using cloud object storage, and we are also using Postgres SQL Server, EDB Postgres for the demo, along with DB2 data warehouse. There are multiple other data services which are all the services created as part of this setup. But as I was telling you, the e-retailer company, so this particular demo setup has got a much broader scope where we are using machine learning model, data modeling. There are certain other offerings called Watson OpenScale for ML ops, for machine learning, operationalization and things like that. We will not get into those. We will only look into those things which are covered by Gaurav as part of the presentation, primarily the Watson Knowledge Catalog, the data virtualization, the data fabric for data virtualization, and then we have also the data masking and the data cataloging part, along with the data transformation, which is the data refinery and the ETL. So I will just show you some of the connections which are available as part of the demo setup presently. In this demo that I am showing you here, you can see that there are connections which are set up for Amazon Cloud Object Storage. This is the non-IBM data storage. Then we have IBM Cloud Object Storage, DB2 warehouse, and we have PostgreSQL and MongoDB. I will be using PostgreSQL, DB2 warehouse, and Cloud Object Storage, IBM Cloud Object Storage as part of this demo. Yeah, Amazon Object Storage is part of the machine learning modeling and artificial intelligence demo, not included as part of this presentation. Yeah, before I get into the actual demo, I would like to show you the governance part. In the governance, probably I will first show you the rules which are defined as part of this platform. As Gaurav was talking about, as the within the WKC or the Watson Knowledge Catalog, there are predefined rules which are defined saying that all credit card information must be protected, email address, phone numbers, credit card expiry date. You can see all these are predefined policies. So at the same time, even though the data is residing in within the Cloud Pak or as part of the outside the Cloud Pak, once you try to connect to the particular data source from Cloud Pak for data, all these policies will get applied automatically. Yeah, I don't want to go into all the menu options, but some of the things which Gaurav covered in the presentations are basically defining of categories. What categories could be defined here? There are two categories like employee, person, and then there are business terms specific for each domain or industry. You could be defining certain business terms which are required for your business. And then all the things which are like data classes, things whatever Gaurav covered in the presentations are available here. Policies, references. I will not get into each of those. I will quickly jump into the two most important things like catalog. So this is view all catalog. Here, as part of this particular demo setup, I will be using one particular catalog called business catalog. So you can consider catalog as a collection of data assets. See, once I go here, you can see that there is a assets which are available, and you can see there are filters available for searching for the assets depending upon whether the asset is recently added or whether it is recommended by the machine learning algorithm from Cloud Pak for Data Watson, which recommends depending upon the usage by employees across the organization, or depending upon the ratings. Like I think one of the slides Gaurav talked about any user in the organization. Once you start look at a data asset, if you think that it is really useful, you can write some comments, give certain ratings, which will help the subsequent users or any other users to filter. So all these assets can be filtered based on the asset type or the business terms or any of the tags which has been attached. Like example, employee table is having sensitive data. So there are certain tags which are attached to that. Like you can see here at the bottom, there are multiple assets, and you can see first two assets are basically nothing but connections. See, first one is a connection to an Amazon object storage. The second one is an object connection to an IBM cloud object storage. The rest of the things are probably data coming from database tables. You can see there is one more connection to data warehouse, which is DB2 warehouse, and certain tags which are attached by the data stewards or data engineers or the data consumers to benefit. For example, I will just walk you through this customer table. See, this is a customer data. Just try to see, this is not a presentation, so I don't have a marker. Try to focus on the bottom right of my screen where I have highlighted the particular table's metadata. This is a data coming in from a DB2 warehouse, and this is the data warehouse which is part of the Cloud Pak for data setup. DB2 warehouse is having a particular database schema called customers, and this is the table name customers. Schema name, table name, both are customers. And you can see there are, as far when the data was profiled and added to the catalog, automatic profiling was done and profiles were created for the data assets. Like when I go to the asset screen, I could see certain sample data available from the particular table. See, now the data masking is in progress. You can see, I can see all the data except for the 3 columns which are masked, which is having this particular symbol here. You can see this is a column masking symbol. So you can see the 3 columns which are masked here is available at the end of the credit card number. And you can see this credit card CVV, credit card expiry date. So these are masked, and sometimes it could be obfuscated, sometimes it could be redacted, dummy numbers could be given, and at the same time, profiling is created. So profile will give you the complete statistical information in terms of what is the minimum value, maximum value, quality scores, and things like that. I will quickly go on to the another table, which is called customer loyalty. Customer loyalty is the second table which I'm using as part of this. You see this again at the bottom right of the screen. This is a third-party data coming in from PostgreSQL. So again, I'm not going to all the tables of all the tabs here. You can see the profile, the sample data, everything from each of these tabs. What I will do is I will quickly navigate to the data virtualization, which is one of the capabilities given by Watson Knowledge Catalog, or the breadth of capability. I think if you recollect the slide which Gaurav talked about data fabric, basically nothing but without moving your data from the place where it is residing. Imagine this in your scenario. If tomorrow in your organization you start using Cloud Pak for data, you may be having data coming in from vendor A, vendor B. You don't need to move or make a copy of that. Simply catalog or make that data asset available in Cloud Pak for data, and then you'll be able to go and create a virtual asset so that on the fly the data can be fetched from the source. It's basically creating just like a table view at the database level. If you understand the concept of view, same thing you are creating it here in Cloud Pak for data. So what I'm going to do here is use that customer table and customer loyalty table and try to join that particular tables, create a view on the runtime. You see this customer loyalty table. I'm just selecting these two tables and say join. When I want to join, I can also select the joining key and see the loyalty number is a common table, and it is a data available across both the tables. I'm joining these two tables using loyalty number. This is a GUI based option available. If you want to do a very complex join across multiple tables, more than 2 tables, you can open a SQL editor and you can even customize the SQL command so that if you want to create a very complex join across multiple, more than 2 tables, you can do that. But here I will proceed with only 2 tables, and I will select the table joining option. See what happens is now with the end of this, with this particular data joining, I am creating a virtual asset so that the data will remain at its source, but a metadata definition is created in Cloud Pak for data so that I'm accessing data from a Postgres SQL server and also a DB2 warehouse. It can also be across any hybrid hyperscaler, whether it is Amazon data or coming from Google Cloud or any others, which is supported by Cloud Pak for data. So once you create this particular virtual view and asset, it will be stored as part of this. Okay, there is a network connectivity issue probably in my option here. Let me see if I can. Okay, see now it is done. If the connectivity is a fluctuation, it's available. See, I will just try to store it in a particular project, which is my project, which I'll be using for this demo called Data Fabrics Outcomes. I will just give the name as demo and schema name as this. But what I will do is probably in the interest of time, I'll just create a view here and quickly not wait for the view to get completed because I have to show a couple of more other things which are let the view creation run in the background. I will just show you the view which I created for the same two tables before the start of this demo. As part of the demo setup, I have created that view for customer loyalty and customer tables. That will be shown here, and I can now just show you the sample data, which is joining the data across the customer and customer loyalty tables. You see this? I will just quickly walk you through this customer summary view. This is the demo which I just got created now, 3:47 p.m. But I will not wait for that. I will just show you this sample view, which is I will show you the preview here. This is actually getting the data from the same two tables which I joined, customer loyalty and customer table. And you will be able to see all that data coming in from SQL server, DB2 warehouse, as well as the Postgres, DDB Postgres. It will be displayed as part of this. Okay, the data is not yet fetched up, but you can see here, once this data refreshes, yeah, when I switch between tabs, it is taking few minutes or seconds to the data to get refreshed. Just please bear with me. I will show you the actual data which is populating. Yeah, maybe I'll come to this later and I can show that once we go to the, we'll progress. We have another 10 minutes before that. I will quickly jump into the another project, which is this is the project which I have created for this demo, Data Fabric Outcome. You can see here this project has got about 20 assets. Each of the asset has got a different type, like it could be a data connection, it could be a data flow. When I say flow, whether it's a data stage job or a data refinery job, or it could be a machine learning model experiment or a notebook, where you could be defining Python code or any Scala code and things like that. For the purpose of this demo, I will just walk you through a data stage ETL flow, which is already created. If you recollect the sample data which I talked about for the e-retailer, where the e-retailer would like to analyze the reason for the delay in the items being shipped or the employee attrition. So the employee data is spread across 7 or 8 different tables in the DB2 warehouse. So you see here, this is a data stage job which is created. The data stage job is fetching data from multiple tables, and then this is joined and written to a cloud object storage. This execution will take more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So in the interest of time, I have already executed this job, and the outcome of this particular file is made available as part of this project and available as a data. I'll just show you the data which is available here in data assets column. If you see, these are the 4 tables which will be used: employee table, warehouse staffing, warehouse shift, and warehouse staff. These are the tables which are available as part of the and you see all these are CSV files which are written as part of the ETL output. So what I will do is, you see in this case, employee table has got data which is having employee code, first name, last name, and things like that. At the same time, the warehouse shift table, you see the data is populated here with employee code, employee name. But if you go to the warehouse staff table, you see there is a employee code is present, but employee name is not present. So for the machine learning, for the data scientist to prepare a model, machine learning model to identify the employee attrition. It will probably make sense if you join these two tables, which is what I will be doing using a capability which is built into Cloud Path for Data called data refinery, which is nothing but something similar to a ETL, but a lightweight and very flexible when you want to do a minor modifications of the data on the fly, because data sources are coming from multiple different clouds or different data sources. So what I will do is here I will use this warehouse staff and I will say just refine. When I try to refine the data, you see automatically a refining job gets created, data refining job will get created. And see, previewing the data, I can even modify the data here. In the interest of time, I will not change any of those. I will just say warehouse staff flow. I will not modify any of those. I will leave it as it is. I will just simply, I will just modify this, and the target data set also we can modify. I will not change any of those, or let me change any one of these properties so that warehouse staff employee. I'll just give the name. Now I'm just saving this data refinery flow, what I just created. So it is still in the process of joining the two tables, or rather I'm just using it and refining it as part of that. So I'll just save this. I need a few seconds before this previewing the this particular option completes. Preparing data refinery. See, okay, now the data preparation is completed. Now I will save this particular data refinery job, and then I will try to join it with a particular table. Now I will use, you see, there are multiple options for data cleansing, for data filtering, and data concatenation, data joining. See, I will use this join condition, and I will use a inner join. I will try to join this warehouse staff table with the employee table coming in from a particular, I will use this connection. I will use the data warehouse, and within warehouse, the employee schema, employee table. I will use the same employee schema and employee table. I will try to join it here. See, once I have joined these particular two tables, I need to select what is the joining key. You see, I have to specify the join key. I will say that employee code is the joining key across both the tables. Employee code. This is what I will use as the joining key. And then I will say next, what are the columns that probably I want to include in the things which are the joined. I'm joining two tables, so I will not select all the columns. I will select very limited columns from the two tables. I will just use the first name, last name, and some other columns here. And then what I will do is I will just create another step, which is basically nothing but concatenating. So I will use this concatenation. You see here the flexibility that I'm getting. I can use a filter, I can use a join and things like that. I'm just using the first name column here. From the first table, I'm using first name column. And then from the next table, I'm using the last name column. So first name and last name, I will use a custom separator. I will use a blank space. I just type the blank space, and then I give a name as employee name, EMPLO, employee name. See, this is the name I'm giving for the new table which I'm joining. I don't want to retain the original columns. I just say apply. See, I'm joining these two columns, and you see automatically the last column, employee name. You can see that it is showing here employee name, and it is getting created on the runtime. Now, what will happen is, let me move this cursor because I have to use this option called save and create a job. So I'm just creating a refinery job here, and I will run this refinery job so that on the runtime, see, basically what I'm doing here is the data coming in from EDB Postgres, and I'm also getting it from a DB2 warehouse, then using ETL tools, and then I forgot to give a name. So that's why it is, I just give a name for the data refinery job. I'll not change any of the other settings. I'll simply say next, and create and run. So once this particular job is submitted, I can look at the job details. It is executing the jobs, but in the interest of time, again, I will not wait for the job execution to complete. It will take about 30-40 seconds or whatever. You see here, I will just show you these jobs which is running. You see one data refinery job. Just now I have submitted, it is running. I think yesterday I tried the same, and it took me just about 60 seconds or so. In the interest, again, I'm just showing you this warehouse staff employee. This is the CSV file, and this is what the demo data refinery flow which got created. You see this flows. there are two data refinery flows. This is one which I created just now, 10 minutes ago as part of the demo. And this is the data refinery flow which I created yesterday. And this particular CSV file is what it got created yesterday. Now the current job is running, and probably once this executing job it completes. So this is this demo job which is running now. Once this job execution completes, yes, it is still running. Maybe another 30 seconds or so. Yeah, it is completed now. You see, this particular CSV file is made available here. You see now 22 assets. When I started, I think it was 21. See, just now this got completed. Warehouse staff employee. Just now this particular CSV file got created.
Do we have any questions on chat window?
I've got a question.
Okay.
There is one from the audience is asking about could we integrate this solution with our existing data sources that will be needed as part of the solution?
Exactly, that's a very good question. Yes, the answer is yes. This platform and all the capabilities that we discussed, whether it's what's a knowledge catalog, whether it is data stage or data virtualization, all these things can very easily integrate with out of the box connectors available either within the platform, or sometimes if that is not available within the platform, although that list is pretty exhaustive, if that is not available, there are generic options to connect to the other data sources. Most of the commonly used the data sources or connection options are available out of the box within the platform.
Perfect. So one more question I have received. So he's asking that is the solution available with multiple deployment options, such as on the cloud or on premise?
Correct. Yes, the answer is yes. As I mentioned, it is meant for any public cloud or private cloud kind of deployment. Customer can take it to any cloud vendor of their choice. They can take it to on-prem. The beauty of the platform is the required OS and the OpenShift licenses, they are bundled with the platform. So it's very easy to move the solution from on-prem to on-cloud or vice versa. So it's very flexible in that approach. From a deployment perspective, it is available as a software only option. Also, it is available in a hyper converged infrastructure kind of setup, which is basically like a appliance kind of offering, which includes your hardware, software, storage, everything bundled as part of the box. That's one option. And the third option is it is also available in a SaaS kind of offering, which is software as a service kind of offering. So available, let's say on AWS, on IBM Cloud. So multiple options of consumptions also. Okay, so if no more questions, then I think we're towards the end of the time for the session. So I thank everyone. Hope you can always reach out to any one of us, and we will be happy to take your questions.
So thanks a lot. I take this opportunity to express deep gratitude to the audience as well as to the speakers for taking their time out and offering their thought leadership to the audience. I hope that everyone from the audience got something out of the webinar and took some valuable notes from today's sessions. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.